Welcome to my Masterclass, Affirmations, why your affirmations aren't working and how to fix them so they do. You will learn how to phrase your affirmations matters. You will learn how you feel about your affirmation matters too. You'll learn how affirmations and manifestation works through a neuroscience explanation. And you'll learn 5 easy ways to amplify your affirmations that you already have and make them more powerful. Finally, you will learn how to craft advanced affirmations for manifestation magic. Part 1, what you think in your mind matters. I had a client, her name was Shelly, and she came to me and she kept saying, I am a strong, independent woman. And she was saying that she wasn't getting exactly what she wanted. Well, her old affirmation was giving her these results. Somebody pamper me. But she kept saying, I'm a strong, independent woman. So she was affirming her independence and not welcoming in people to take care of her. Yeah, that ended up in her living a very solitary, independent, powerful life. Strong women are often misperceived as cold and mean simply because they refuse to be disrespected, mistreated, or taken for granted. But they also come off as cold and mean. And then that turns into a very masculine energy. So I encouraged Shelly to try a new affirmation. This new affirmation was based on Maya Angelou's poem, I Am a Phenomenal Woman. That affirmation, I am a phenomenal woman, and reading that poem out loud to herself over and over and over again, phenomenal woman, that's me, totally shifted Shelly's energy. She went from strong, independent, masculine, powerful, getting everything she wants and coming off as cold and mean, to phenomenal is feminine. The repetition of the F, M, and N sounds in phenomenal woman is very feminine. And phenomenal feminine is very empowering. It totally shifted energy for Shelly. She changed her energy from the masculine, cold, sharp, strong independence into the feminine power of phenomenal and holding and nurturing. She actually started attracting a whole different relationship energy into her life. So what you think matters, but also how you feel about your words and your affirmations matters. Just as Maya Angelou says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. The same thing works in terms of your words and your affirmation. How does your affirmation make you feel on the inside? If it makes you feel the wrong way, it's going to change your energy to what it makes you feel and not what it actually means in your head. So for example, I had a client, Mary, who kept trying the affirmation, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. But inside herself, she didn't feel beautiful because beautiful was an external materialistic perspective. And it didn't work for her because every time she heard the word beautiful, she felt the word ugly. And feeling ugly is what mattered in terms of that affirmation. She didn't even know she had any beauty in her. So we had to change her affirmation. Just like that old Stuart Smalley of SNL, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone, people like me. He would look in the mirror and try to convince himself, but he really didn't actually feel it or believe it, and therefore it didn't work. If you don't feel it and you don't believe it, you're actually manifesting the opposite. Because your human brain is dualistic and it hears and feels both, and it's going to go with the one that you feel the most viscerally. So the old affirmations of I am beautiful gave her different results, making her feel ugly on the inside. Just like saying I am wealthy when you feel poor could be unconsciously affirming I am poor because you feel poor, and the word wealthy makes you think of the opposite, poor. So you want to be very careful how you phrase your affirmations. So Mary's new affirmation was I am radiant. Radiant is an internal energy. I'm not pretty, I'm not beautiful. I am radiant as the sun, like Katniss Everdeen says. Beauty to Mary was very external, and it was based on what her body and her head and her face looked like, and a lot of things out of her control, her genetics. But radiance is internal. It's like radiating from her inside out. And so when she started affirming, I am radiant, everything shifted for her. And she started really feeling it and amplifying that energy to herself and feeling better about herself. So in review, part 1, what you say matters. Part 2, what you feel matters. An effective affirmation connects your head, what you're saying, with your heart, what you're feeling. And you got to get the two in line because they've got to communicate and work with each other, your head and your heart. So part 3, how does that work? Let's get into the science of how affirmations work. Let's look at the word affirm. The etymology of the word affirm comes from the Latin ad firm. So it means adding to something that's already strong. So you've got to have something that's already strong and then amplify that. So an affirmation is a gratitude that turns into manifestation. It works best when you have a seed that's already there and you're growing it, and then it amplifies itself. So you do that by affirming what you already have, being grateful for it so that it grows, and then it manifests more. The second level of that is you repeat, repeat, repeat. I think this helps you to remember. It does. That's how your brain works. The human brain works by repetition. So you choose an affirmation that you think and feel, getting your head and your heart working together. And it's something that you already have in you that you're being grateful for and you're amplifying, and then you repeat it over and over and over again. What you repeat becomes a habit. And habits are formed this way. You don't choose your future, you choose your habits, and your habits choose your future. So habits are formed through unconscious habits. Our unconscious habits are formed through ancestral influence, or your DNA. They were born into your system. You were born that way. It was conditioned into you in your DNA. Unconscious habits are also formed through childhood development. You were conditioned that way by your parents and the adults and the people training you as you were growing up. But conscious habits, mindful habits, those are the things you have control over. Those are the consistent behaviors that you choose to do over and over and over again. And the conscious thoughts that you bring to your mind over and over and over again. This is how the brain works. There's 2 levels to it. There's the unconscious, DNA and childhood development, and then there's the conscious, which is your choices and your thoughts. So here's how the brain training, the neuroscience of how habits and affirmations work. There's a part of your brain called the RAS. The RAS is your reticular activation system. Out there in the world, there's way too much stimuli of what's going on. So your RAS has to take all this information of every thought, every feeling, every sensation, every sound, every smell, every sight you've ever had in your whole life, and filter it through your RAS. And your RAS is what decides is important. Part of that is your ancestral DNA, part of that is your childhood development, but also part of that is what you have chosen to focus on. So what you focus on, you manifest. So if you decide, I played this game with my nephew. If you decide you want to play a game called Score, and you want to find all the yellow cars out in the world, I promise you the yellow cars are always there. You just don't notice them. You may not even notice a yellow car in your whole life. But once you start playing Score and you're looking for them, you're telling your brain, you're telling your RAS, I want to see all those yellow cars. And the first couple times you play that game, you might not see very many yellow cars because you haven't conditioned the RAS yet. But after several plays of playing that game, you start seeing yellow cars everywhere. They were always there. They're always there. You just haven't noticed it. So the way your brain works is you choose to start noticing what's out there. And then you focus on that and you grow that. And you manifest what you already know is there, and you continue with that. So now we get into part 4, 5 easy ways to amplify your affirmations. Knowing how affirmations work. They're about growing what you already have, growing that gratitude, and focusing on what you want to create because it's already there. So part 1, tip 1, keep your affirmations very short and simple. Complex affirmations will overwork those RAS filters and it'll be too hard for your brain to comprehend. So you got to keep those affirmations short and simple. 3 to 7 words max. The easier it is to remember, the easier it is to repeat, 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 repeat. And the more power within those 3 to 7 words, the more power within those affirmations. Remember and repeat, remember and repeat. Here's an example of an affirmation that is way too much. I am manifesting success in my business that produces financial abundance in a way that I no longer worry about money because I am doing what I love and earning what I deserve. The more words you use, the more your brain has to comprehend, the more possibility you will sneak in something negative, which actually happened here when you said the word worry. Keep it simple. I am prosperous. 3 words. I am prosperous. I am successful. I am growing. 3 to 5 words. Tip number 2, keep it positive. If you are like most people, you don't often think about monkeys, but because I just said the word monkey, you thought about a monkey. You don't want to think about the monkey, yet you just thought about the monkey. So every time you think of something negative, even if you're saying not negative, not that thing, your brain is going to bring it up. So for example, the affirmation, I am letting go of anger. This actually fixates your brain on the word anger. Your brain feels the anger and you're manifesting anger. So you want to say exactly what you want, not what you don't want. I am not poor. Your brain remembers the word poor. So you want to use the affirmation to be the positive language. Rather than I am letting go of anger, I am joyful. Rather than I am not poor, I am abundant. You want to stay positive. Here's an example. I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will find me. It's a very popular TikTok affirmation. The unconscious message of this affirmation creates this game of cat and mouse. Chase, attract, chase, attract, chase, attract, with a passive lack of control that you don't have any power in it. So instead of saying, I'm letting go of anger, the negative, say, I am peaceful, and keep it really, really simple. Keep it positive and simple. 3 words. Tip number 3, make it memorable. Use really unique words. Everyone says the word abundant. What if you used words that were really different? Use poetic devices. Use onomatopoeia. Use alliteration. Use rhyme. Use poetry. Here's some examples. Here's one. I release every judgment and misconception I projected onto financial abundance so that I can align with it. Again, you're bringing up that misconception and judgment, even though you're trying to manifest financial abundance. This unconscious message of this affirmation is aligning financial abundance with judgment, misconception, and projection. Too many things. And you snuck in some negative stuff. Make it memorable. I live a luscious life. The LLL and the word luscious is so unique and it's so juicy. It really makes you feel that energy. Tip number 4, be present. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Be present. State what's happening right now. All that matters is the right meow, the right now. Abundance is coming to me. Well, that's in the future. Say, I am blessed now. Think about what is blessing you now and how can that grow? Think about what you do have and grow that. I no longer live in scarcity. Well, that's the past. What about I have all I need? I no longer live in scarcity also focuses on the word scarcity. I have all I need. Think about that, grateful for what you have now, being present with the here and now. And tip number 5, I've already said this before, I'm going to say it again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat. It takes 7 times for your brain just to remember something. It takes 70 times to make it a habit. So you want to do it 70 times 7 to make it 700,000 times. Yes, the math doesn't work there, but you get the idea. You have to do this over and over and over again. Part number 5, how do you craft advanced affirmations? So take what we've already learned about phrasing them and feeling them and amplify them into even bigger magic. The way you do that is through the Mosey method. And the Mosey method is a 3-part action. First, you create that very simple, very clear, luscious life affirmation. And then you link that to a physical body action. So it's not just living up here in your head as a thought, but you're physically doing something that matches that phrasing. And then you're breathing that through your whole system and you're repeating it several times a day. The cool thing about the Mosey method is it only takes a few seconds because the affirmation is just a few words and the physical action that matches that affirmation is just a few seconds and then a few breaths. 10 seconds and you got it. What if you did that 10 seconds 20 times a day? So you're going to think it and say it with a very short, very memorable, positive, present tense affirmation that you can repeat over and over again. And then you're going to do it. You're going to change your body to match your mind. So you're going to line your head and your body because you remember and integrate only 10% of what you think in your head, but you remember and integrate 70% of what you do. And then you're going to breathe it. So you've got this affirmation in your head, and then you're feeling it in your body by doing it, and then you breathe it. You breathe it in and you breathe it out because the oxygen transports all those messages through your nerves between your brain and your body. And when you breathe, you're repeating the affirmation Soham Hamsa, which is the Sanskrit words for I am, that I am. So every time you breathe, you are saying I am. Now you want to have an example of this. So here's an example. If you have something that you want to let go of in your life and you want to get rid of it, you don't want this in your life anymore. Say, I let go, I release, I shake it off, I wash it away. Those are 4 different ways to say the same affirmation, whichever one feels the best inside your thoughts in your head. And then you physically shake. I let it go, I release, I shake this off. And while you're shaking off, you take deep breaths. I shake it off, and wash it off. Or you take it an even step further and you go to the bathroom, and while you shake, you wash your hands. Shake your whole body, you wash your hands. As you're breathing, as you're thinking, I'm washing this away. That will amplify your affirmations. So how do you take that even one more step further? Advanced affirmations. How do you phrase those affirmations in an even more powerful way? First, use your vowels. Vowels can vibrate through your system like plucking a cord and they just last. So the ooh sound is very grounding. It's very stabilizing. If you need to feel safe and stable and grounded and solid and steady and you're using any of those words, ooh is a very grounding sound. E is very growing, very lifting. E and I is very uplifting. So Maya Angelou again, and still I rise is growing. If you want to grow up and still I rise and you want to rise up above something, say that. I am rising. I am rising. That'll help you grow. And then you physically lift your body up to rise. Ah is a very opening sound. So choose words that have the sound in the vowels that you're choosing to work with. On a whole other level, you can go to your consonants. Roses are red. My name is Dave. That makes no sense. Microwave. But it's very memorable, isn't it? So here's some vowels that have different connotations. If you want something to be soft and soothing and smoothing, you use those soft sounds of F, H, L, M, N, and W, very much like feminine and phenomenal. Those are very soft sounds. Doesn't make them weak. They make them gentle. If you want sounds that are hard and pointed and you want action now and you want pound, pound, and punch, then use hard sounds like C, D, K, Q, and T. If you want moving sounds that actually have some vibration and some action, use sounds like B, G, J, and P, like bubble and giggle and jump. If you want something to linger and last, you use lingering sounds like R, S, V, and Z, zing. Let's review. First, choose your words wisely. Be sure to taste your words before you spit them out, because what you say and think in your affirmations really matters. Instead of Shelly's "I am a strong, independent woman," that worked for her and she became just that, very, very, very independent. Say, "I am a phenomenal woman." Choose your words wisely and choose the sounds within your words to match the energy of what you're trying to say. Number 2, put your feelings first. How you feel about your affirmations really matters. Remembering that Mary said, "I am beautiful," and that made her history think ugly. So you've got to choose a different word, radiant. Radiant has a whole different energy than beautiful, and it worked. Here are your 5 tips for how to phrase your affirmations. Keep them short and simple. Keep them positive. Make them memorable. Be present. Stay in the present tense. And make them so that you can repeat them, because that's how your brain works. Once you've got your affirmation phrased in a way that it's short, simple, positive, memorable, present, and it really makes you feel what you want to feel, then you think it, do it, and breathe it. Think that affirmation, match it to some physical action that you can do that amplifies what it is you're thinking, and then breathe it. Just like the Mosey method, I am letting go, I am releasing, I am shaking it off, I am washing it away. If this is too much for you to figure out in this one short little lesson, then sign up with me for a 45-minute consultation. I'll help you figure out how your RAS works, and I'll give you an advanced personalized affirmation and Mosey method exercise. And then we'll talk about how we can take that even greater into your everyday life. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.